and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of the PiGosaur Monday number 22. We have our top four. We have two of our top four. We have our semifinalists, and we're here to determine which of these two players will make it to the grand finals. Will be our Terran, will be our Protoss. We are here to decide, and so are you, because if you're in the chat, get your gamba going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. As spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Storm. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponents, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. Are going to be settling in. Settling into our TVP, and again, best of luck when it comes to those predictions. Coming into this, MaxPax is the heavy favorite, 100%. You could make the argument that maybe he is a little bit fatigued, but I would say that he's used to it. He's going full degen. MaxPax, he's one of the regular European players that does stay up and does play in all of the weeklies and all the tournaments. And it makes even more sense for MaxPax because he doesn't actually take part in offline events. Online tournaments are where he puts out his all. Like he whips out his best here in online tournaments because that's all he has. So with that, Max actually plays in every open cup he can, at least when it comes to the Monday weeklies, and he's here to try to claim another win. I say another win. He has been having a bit of a harder time as of late. Last night, of course, we covered MaxPax going down to Solar. But now there's no Zerg player. There's no Zerg player in the tournaments. There's no Zerg player left. So now we can focus on what he's best at on PvT. Here we go. Song name, please. Out of game, it's the Brood War OST. So that's all I can say. I'm not too sure what song you were listening to at the time, but it is the music playing is the official Brood War OST. So you can sift through those songs to try to find what you enjoyed. As we have our Twilight Council open out of MaxPax. Opening up Twilight Council into Blink. Again, Blink-based play is MaxPax's go-to in this matchup, whether it's 2, 3, or 4 gateways, yet to be determined. Meanwhile, Kira back at home going for his own Rax Expand economic opener into a 1-1-1. So there's that 1-1-1 setup. It's going to be set up. You can see MaxPax denying mining time so far. Does shade behind the mineral line. Does deny mining at least a little bit longer. MaxPax does pull away, doesn't want to lose the Adepts. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome. So far just threatening Shades, threatening a dive into the main. So far Curie's keeping up behind this 1-1-1 into Raven. So far just very safe play. There's no major aggression out of Cure, there's no drop play either. Just going for a Raven, auto charge harass, and settling in back at home. Bit of a more chill start here from our Terran player. Likewise, MaxPax does throw down an extra gateway, going into 3-gate Blink. A very safe opener here by MaxPax. Should be 3-gate Blink into a third. As the third base is now being taken. Reaper dives into the main. Reaper does get a scout, does confirm the tech. There's that Nexus. Nexus is on the way. You know, MaxPax he breaks down. Now the goal here for MaxPax isn't really to break into the bases, but to contain the Terran player, to keep Cure pinned here on his 2 bases, to catch any kind of drop play, any stray unit, any add-on, any marine, and to slow down any push. In the main base, the tank is well set up. We have some nice Sim City. Bunker is full. Just the one tank for now. MaxPax goes for the warp in. Looks like he's looking for a dive, actually, into the main. He's going for it. The tank is exposed. Going for Sim, and he will deny it. Nice pickoff. Gets rid of Sim, and he barely does. Barely get an add-on. Barely not. Oh my god, never mind. Reactor does survive. And was that worth it here? MaxPax, he did end up losing 2 Stalkers. 2 Stalkers went down. I would say, though, that is a worthwhile trade. It is a worthwhile trade, as he did delay Stim. Stim is delayed. That delays the push. That means the Cure is stuck at home for that much longer. MaxPax diving in once again. He does get the tank, and he gets out. So really nice pickoffs. He pokes in, gets an add-on. Gets a tank, pokes out. Here, he gets a bunker as well. And again, his goal isn't to kill. He's not killing Cure, but he is containing him. And more importantly, these small little pickoffs mean that when Cure eventually pushes, it's going to be that much weaker. Now he's down a tank. Now Stim is delayed. Now Cure is stuck at home even longer. So nice pickoffs here by MaxPax. Back at home, fully saturated on 3 bases. Getting into his own charge follow-up. +1 in charge going to be on the way. Into delayed splash damage. As there's that bait. I will say charge should have begun by now, so charge is a little bit delayed, but should be on the horizon. As MaxPax is getting a safety Immortal. Likewise, Raven does pick away at the mineral line, gets 2 probes. Two workers so far. And yeah, charge is actually pretty late here. I don't think this is intentional. Typically you want to be prioritizing charge a little bit earlier, especially because he went for a safety Immortal. This tells us that, again, MaxPax is playing safe, but you know, the lack of charge here kind of goes against that. So we are chronoing as best we can, and hoping to finish this soon. Slow Zella drop into the main. It gets a couple of SCVs. 4 CV kills, not bad. MaxPax, he gets out. And charge should finish by the time Cure does move out. As charge is halfway done. Halfway complete. MaxPax, he gets a Marauder. Gets 1. Does pick up a Marauder. Likewise, Cure, he does push through the center. MaxPax ready to catch reinforcements. He can and he will. Takes out a Marauder and some Medivacs. Very nice pickoff. So he gets 1, he gets 2. 2 Medivacs go down. He forces the back of the army. Oh no! Some missed movement! Oh my god, a missed rally! MaxPax, he runs into the army. He will lose everything. 1 Stalker survives. Zelda hit the 3rd base at the same time. But Cure is pushing, and MaxPax, he's in trouble. That should not have happened. Ay, ay, ay. Again, MaxPax, he lost. Only 1 Stalker survived, and now he has less support. Cure, can he go for the kill? Stim's in. Nice force. Very nice force fields. Ooh, punishes the Marauders. Slows him down. Zell warping here into the main. But Cure, he will break the expansion. Takes down the Nexus. Massive missile goes off. Covers the army. Back at home, Cure, he defends. And Cure, ideally he wants to keep going. Does want to keep pushing in. Kites back, rallies forward. Yeah, he wants his Colossus. He's going to get them as well. As again, MaxPax losing all those Stalkers. That was game. That was game then and there. He will lose everything else. The expansion, the army, and the 3rd. As this 1 Colossus left. It's barely holding on. Back at home, getting 13 SCV kills is pretty good damage. But Cure, he knows how close he is to just completely breaking MaxPax. As he's hanging on by a thread. Oof, takes down the Prism, no more counterattacks. That means that Cure can focus on the main push. Focus on the main fight. Zell's charging in. Gets a tank, not bad. Takes down the tank. MaxPax, he's holding on. Now, what's important here is that Cure did lose a lot of SCVs, and economically he's struggling. The longer this goes on, I want to say the better it is for MaxPax. As MaxPax, he's stabilizing, and he's on 80 probes. Bear that in mind, like, he has a massive worker count, and he's about to be on a proper 4-based economy. He needs a little bit more time for the 4th to get up and running. And MaxPax, he can recover. He was close. Like, again, Cure, he was so close to breaking MaxPax, but barely did not. And MaxPax is on the road to recovery. Built up his Stalker count once again. If it wasn't for the SCV kills, then Cure would be in a better position, but alas, we're evening up. Now MaxPax gets his 4th base, is back up to 3 Colossus, 5th expansion on the way. MaxPax is stabilizing. And the game will continue. Whew, okay. The game will continue. MaxPax, he holds, he perseveres. A second Robo, Dark Shrine, getting into DTs, getting into double Disruptor production. Is working towards it. Likewise, Cure building up towards additional Vikings. As MaxPax does move out to meet him. Almost catching another medevac. That's 2 medevacs falling. Ay, ay, ay. They do threaten a dive. Is it making the production tab? Yeah, the 4th base was delayed. The 4th base was heavily delayed here for Cure. That is a bit of a misstep as well. That's Cure collapsing in, Nova goes up. Ooh, nice splits. Yeah, nice splits. The Colossus are going to be going down. That's a good amount of Vikings. As he gets 1, they should get both. Again, better trade here for Cure. Oh, Nova doesn't connect. MaxPax, he overextends. Yeah, big overextension for MaxPax. At the same time, Zelsay busts into the main base. SCVs are going to be going down. And Cure, he does reset the Colossus count. Once again, Cure, he is close to breaking MaxPax. He's so close. Can he do it? But now going to be forced back. Doesn't quite commit. Not quite. Meanwhile, MaxPax double expanding, gets his own 5th and now a 6th base on the way. MaxPax, and another base, Jesus. Getting a 7th expansion. Just mass expanding. And this is risky again. MaxPax, he just lost all of his Colossus, but alas, Cure, he backs off. MaxPax, he rebuilds, now up to pure Disruptor. Getting up to how many? 6 so far. Getting up to 8. Secure rotating. Is rotating over. MaxPax moving in. Why does this rotate? Cure moving out for a counterattack. MaxPax will now be on 9 disruptors. That's a lot of Novas. That's a lot of balls. Cure coming for the surround. Attempts to flank. Ooh, massive connection. Nova goes off. Yeah, takes down Ghosts. Takes down Marines. Takes down Bio. The splits are not there. Yeah, the Novas are brutal, but there's not enough support. The Disruptors are good, but where's the Gateway Army? It's across the map. Zelzay busts into the third, the main, the natural. SCVs are falling left and right. Getting 19, 20 SCV kills. And Curie turns around. He turns around. He races back home. And this gives MaxPax so much time to max out. And again, on a 7-base economy, mate, MaxPax is fine. He does rematch, does rebuild. Does push forward. Oh my god. And notice they just keep connecting. And Cure, at one point in this game, was so close to breaking MaxPax, but barely didn't. And since then, MaxPax, he has bounced back. And he's just pulling Cure apart. And there's nothing left. There's nothing left here. There's a couple of Marauders, a couple of Marines. MaxPax, he snowballs out of control. Nova goes off into the mineral line. Oh my god. Jesus. As Nova, they just keep connecting. GG gets called, and MaxPax, he does overwhelm. He does take the first game. GG. GG, well played. Impressive comeback there from MaxPax. Does recover and does take a lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. Shout out to Cure though, because Cure, he did almost take the win himself. If you recall, MaxPax, he did have a lapse in army control where he did move command through the army of Cure, and MaxPax, he lost almost every single stalk in the process. That is when MaxPax lost his 4th base, lost his mineral line, lost his Colossus, lost most of his army, but he barely held on to his 3rd. And with that, MaxPax, he recovered. He slowly recovered, got back into it, and with that, MaxPax does take the first game. GG. GG, well played. Now we're getting into game number 2. Here we go. I wonder what about this patch made Protoss so strong. I mean, it depends if you've been watching much of the games here. MaxPax has been struggling a lot more. If you've been watching over the past 3 months, basically March, February, and January, and December, MaxPax hasn't been as dominant as it used to be, but Hero has been on the grind. Like, if you've been watching, Hero's been even winning like the weekly cups over the past, again, if you watch basically this year, 2025, Hero, he's been winning a lot of the weekly cups. MaxPax struggling a little bit more. There is a big reason for that, but for now, let's introduce our players. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our red Protoss player. We have our Danish Protoss leading the series 1-0, representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. Down in the series, it is Cure. Here we go. But the reason why MaxPax has been struggling a little bit more than usual is he used to have, I would say, the best PvP in the world, but PvP is very different. In the new patch, PvP has changed quite a lot, and no longer is MaxPax able to force all ins and go for his gate expand as freely as he used to because of the change to the energy overcharge, because of the lack of shield battery. So I think PvP is, PvP has changed quite a bit as a result. So if you watch matches between MaxPax and Skillus, Hero, Classic, they're a lot closer and a lot more dynamic than they used to be. And that was like MaxPax's matchup, straight up. Like, he had the best PvP in the world. And that matchup has changed quite a lot, at least when it comes to the hierarchy of Protoss and how that's been working. Because of that, that's why Hero has been beating MaxPax more often in recent times. When it comes to the other matchups, especially when it comes to the new TLMC maps that are being introduced, as well as the custom map pool that we've had when it comes to online tournaments, a lot of the larger maps we have gotten rid of. I'm referring to Neon Violet Square, Abyssal Reef, and King's Cove. Those maps are no longer in these tournament map pools. Because of that, I would say that MaxPax, that's where he thrives in I mean, we just saw it in the last game, right? If he's able to stabilize on a solo economy, that's where he can thrive. On smaller maps, that's where he can struggle. That's where players like Clem, players like Cure, Bjorn can be hyper aggressive and punish that. So I think that's kind of leading into why MaxPax has been struggling a little bit more. And I want to say that that's maybe the same reason why Hero's been having a lot more success. One, he's been grinding, but two, like, I feel like he thrives in that smaller environment, in that more aggressive environment. That's where Hero can kind of like find his stride, find his success. I saw some people talking about Zaun and I would say even Trigger. Zaun, he came back to the military back in November of last year, and he's just been improving. Like, it's Zaun kind of, I would say, regaining his skill and kind of getting back into the pro scene. And Zaun has been very competitive with Clem. It's really cool to see. Like, Zaun has been very impressive, specifically in PvT. I would say Zaun's weakest matchup right now is PvZ. Like, Zaun, his PvZ does leave much to be desired, and it's where he struggles in the most. But because there aren't really many Zerg players in these tournaments, Zaun, he more often than not avoids PvZ. He just like he avoids Shin, he avoids Rogue, he avoids Solar, and if so, like Zaun, he pops off. Like, mate, give him a lineup of Terrans and Protoss, like Zaun, he does very well there. Does very well in that setting. So it's been interesting to see kind of like certain players rise, others fall. But I do think that once again we're going to see kind of like another shakeup when it comes to the new map pool. The new maps are very different, and we'll see which maps actually get introduced to the map pool as well. Because those maps, oh, they do. The larger maps, they're not good. I mean, for their own reasons, right? I would say that those old maps are very outdated in their approach to StarCraft. Because if you've been watching Clem, dominant over MaxPax, like still very much so. So I feel like there's like being weaved in the chat. Clem is still very much so kind of dominant, especially in the European region. And we've seen some of the other Koreans kind of shake Clem up a little bit, but like he's still typically the favorite player in the tournament. As MaxPax does dive into the main, picks up a tank, not bad. So far, good control, nice juggling here at MaxPax. Yeah, does snipe the tank, does trade well against the Marines. Oh, and he may just overwhelm. Like, there's no second tank. No, there's no second tank for Hero. Just now pops, and MaxPax, he goes for the dive. He goes for the kill. He shuts down the tank, shuts down the bio. Boys are being pulled. GG gets called. And again, Cure, before he can get into the mid-game, he is broken here and now. GG. MaxPax, he will take the series 2-0. So I was a little bit engrossed talking about the scene, but it was 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink into a third base. This was the same build that MaxPax went for last game. Just, again, the second tank was late, first tank went down, and that was, yeah, that was game. That was game then and there. GG. GG, well played, MaxPax. He will advance on to the grand finals to face off against the winner of the upper semifinals. And I believe we have yet to determine